Hey Pisces, how you doing? This is your January 2025 monthly astrology reading with Miss Peaches. How y'all doing? you know, Pisces, I think before I even get in, I'm still keeping about the whole format. I think I don't know. I might switch it up with y'all because Pisces, you had so much. Like the North Node is transitioning into you, so astrological is like some of y'all Pisces could be feeling very hollow or hollow, from hollow to over contempt. Now the hollow part could still be there where you can feel over contempt, but the people around you feel like you're not exerting the proper energy they want to see return from you. Um, because of that, um, especially with Virgo going to be very prominent when everything switch over. Not only that, I feel like when this switch happened with y'all, depending on loyalty factors, I think going to really play a role in y'all energy too in the month of January. I think the loyalty part in start becoming a factor right around New Year's, really. But it's going to start becoming evident or something that you need to put your energy in around the 13th when that North Node hit. That's because when the elements are, when the asteroids are transitioning, they still carrying on the things that have already become. So the effects that you're going to have also going to determine from your sun sign to other placements. Now, I say if a Pisces sun has more than 4 placements also with Pisces constellation, you're going to really feel it. I think Pisces that has just the sun constellation, I think you're going to feel, I think you're going to be, one part of it is going to feel neglect, use. You're going to feel a lot of usury, people taking advantage of you. And I'm not saying it might not manifest, that it's not a false thing. I'm just saying the sun sign might hold a weird energetic feel up inside of this, because it's like the sun signs is like with that one thing and nothing else with Pisces, you're going to have a lot of preparation. So if your budget is already off and you're already struggling, you're still going to be struggling during this time to struggle. I think things walking into the new year for sun signs only constellation, I think things going to be so constant and so steady that is going to irritate you. It can create envy and jealous and competitive attributes to come out in situations. I'm not saying that they're not going to be it. I'm just saying those situations can definitely be more circular. Now, for people who's kind of in between the 1 and the 4, I think y'all going to have it a little bit better, but I think y'all going to glitch out throughout the days of Pisces time. I think you're going to really glitch out here and now. You're just going to have you're going to have like some days that's going to be spiked, like it was the best day. You're even going to get good sleep. And then, 2 weeks then pass and this day is the worstest fucking day ever. And you can't even get the right sleep because you want to say all that shit was on your mind, so you can't sleep. I think you're just going to have glitches throughout. I just really wanted to get that off my chest before actually going into it. Because, like, This is your general astrology forecast, and I'm trying to keep the same format through all the 12 constellations. So, on January the 1st of 2025, I was just really trying to focus on the houses. Taurus is going to be in the first house. So Taurus is I have. And so with Pisces that I have, for some Pisces, it's going to feel like that have thing is give or take. Some people ain't going to really feel it like a dominant control factor. It does depend on your age and your location for sure. But Sun telling me, Spirit telling me get back on path. I did pull out the Oracle cards. So let me go ahead and get 2 Oracle cards for y'all. Alright. So, hey y'all. I'm here with Pisces General Astrology reading for the month of January of 2025. But I have one Oracle card to represent the Ascendant and the Descendant, which is in the 1st and the 7th house, with the constellation energy of Taurus and Scorpio. May I have one Oracle card prepared for the 4th house and the 10th house, which is going to be in Cancer and Capricorn, constellation energy. And may I have these cards one at a time, please? So let's see what comes up for you, Pisces. May I have one Oracle card for the Ascendant and the Descendant? Let's say the IC and the Midhaven for the 4th house. But I do have that one Oracle card. And may I have the second Oracle card for the 4th in the 10th house with the IC and the Midhaven. Okay. That one came face down. I like when the Midhaven and the IC come face down because it is the dark side to it. Alright. We're looking at the shadow card after I have. We have Vampire. Ooh. Did they want this one to come out? Scouring. Ooh. Y'all see how that fell off? And intuition came out. We have Vampire, emotional intelligence. And we got Scouring is really going to play a role in this, huh? Alright. So, we have Death. The eternal cycle begins here. The eternal cycle. And it does. In the 1st house, it does. And just think about it. Right, when the 7th house. See, Pisces, yours going to be like this, right? The commonness that's going on in your life is going to be so common. But the thing that makes it so interesting is like when the makeup of the creation of the eternal part that's inside of the houses is like, do you remember when you was in high school and I'm going to say 1930. The year 1930. Do you remember being in high school in 1930 and that kid that sat there and tripped you? Or do you remember all the way back in the 1400s when men was so possessive that some women would take them and kill them and hang them? When men had gifts and women would kill them. Do you remember when you got that revenge for something that was there? And see, that's what that 7th house is a mean storyteller. It's a mean storyteller. And the only thing it's going to have up in there is the vertex. So being that is nothing but a winding clock itself, it's nothing but a time machine itself. And then with the constellation that you share in common with the sun is also going to be shared. It's being shared with going to the North Node now. So now that North Node feeling of Pisces is going to be shining down on this planet. So with that bright light, or with the attitude, like right now, how much of the importance of the present is classified to be relevant and really truly important? Is it the shoe that you wear when you get up in the morning? Is it the amount of money that you make? Do you know what really makes that important? And so once you get to the point of answering that question and that light is beaming down on you because you already got the answer right. So the light is beaming down and you like, I'm right. But you could be in a real fucked up ass relationship right now. Your relationship real fucking fucked up. Somebody do. One of these Pisces, you got a real fucked up relationship. And you're in this motherfucking, you convincing yourself with every excuse on why you can stay and why you can't leave. But the whole point to it is, if you don't remember that motherfucker that you burnt to the crisp, I ain't saying that during that time it won't right. But how do you make something that's over 900 years maybe? How do you make that right with what you got in front of you? How do you make something 900 years ago right that in the current time they done made so many laws to make it wrong, that how do you make it right within inside of yourself? And that's what that Taurus is going to do, especially with the fact that Uranus is still in retrograde. Jupiter is still in retrograde. And those two planets is in the first house. Now the difference is Jupiter is still in Gemini constellation. Even though it's in the first house, it's still in Gemini. So how you save yourself? So then you got the fourth house. And see, the third and the fourth house, walking into the beginning of the year, it's going to be the weirdest fucking energy because Cancer is in the third and fourth house. That's zodiac energy. So it's in a house of messages. It's in a house of messages. No, the house of messages and the house of roots. The house of roots. You know, okay, there we go. Yeah, my cards scattered out so I can stay present in the energy. There's a little bit of scouring, ain't it? But look, check this out. Cancer is here. You know, I give you an example of a message that I had. And I'm going to use it from Cancer because it's all about I feel. It was an intuitive conversation. And I might have asked the question, just forgot when I asked the question. But I end up going clairaudient into a daydream with it. And it was a conversation that I had about how I used to help people. And it was like way back, I mean so many years ago, right? Hundreds of years ago. So during this time of helping people, sometimes helping people wasn't the fondest thing in the world, right? So How would it feel to know that there's certain jobs I won't be able to interfere in because that level will resurface? Or I'm in the field of helping in the level of the safe passage, like when I do these videos here. So it's something that nags at me, and it's something that's part of me. And that's the thing about these two houses that's going to have Cancer, right? And not only that, Mars is retrograde in the beginning of the year in Cancer. So, let's see. Well, no, I don't think yours is going to come down. I don't. But this is the card that came out before I pulled out the 10th and the 9th house. What is it? Graveyards. Unnecessary fear. And you know, for real, that graveyard is an unnecessary fear. Because it's like, to be honest, even through this time, which I didn't took time to grow into it, but part of my uncertainty of walking into this journey was from those clairaudient conversations. Like, I'm afraid. Like, when is it going to stop? If I was like that, why am I doing this now? I'm not understanding, especially during that time, I wasn't really understanding whether it was a right thing or it was a wrong thing, or how the karma was. My brain won't that develop on the belief. And that's the thing about roots. It helps you mature too. So this unnecessary fear could be a lot of maturity energy that comes out. Or, how do I say it? For some people, whatever level you think maturity is, and the level that when it comes to that 10th house, that's going to share this card, the world. Now, up in the 10th house, we have Capricorn, which is going to have Moon and Pluto. But not only that, we have Capricorn also in the 9th house, which the Sun is going to be there. And Capricorn is going to be in the Sun in the beginning. So let's see what messages come out right here for you. Yes. So what is this 10th house with the Moon and Pluto? How it is actually intertwined with Pisces during the month of January? Well, I have 3 cards and talk about where this 10th house will intertwine with this graveyard. This unnecessary fear in the beginning part of January for Pisces general astrology reading. But it's intuition lit. I think that card really is hitting here. I started off with intuition before doing anything too. I have 3 cards for this 10th house energy for Pisces. Oh, I'm about to come out again. Alright. I have 3 cards. That's not, I didn't want that many. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it one more time. I have 3 cards, please. I have 3 cards for Pisces in this 10th house. Alright, number 1. Y'all seem like y'all upset with me. We have 2. And we have 3. Okay. We have the Knight of Ghosts. Pisces. I mean, that's your energy too. So we had a High Priestess, the King of Wands, and the Justice card. So, I mean, life situations will definitely fuck with you. Whatever means necessary to get the job done is going to happen for sure. It's a lot of options. For the Justice card and the High Priestess to come out with the King of Wands, there's so many options up in here. It is so many options. You got some people, I mean, some people, there's a lot of things some people are going to do for their family. They keep their family together. There's an agenda to happen. You're going to have, you know, it's really some of these Pisces that's really into spirituality in some kind of way, even if they just make memes all the time about your content creator who make memes about zodiac signs and stuff. I think some of those zodiac constellations going to really get impacted during your season too. So having friendships with people who's content creators and everything is going to be sparks of ideas. You're going to have moments where I think, you know, money is a thing that this world will not lie rest. The rules or whatever is the makeup in this world, money will never lie rest. And being that money will never lie rest, there's going to be times where some of y'all Pisces it's not that you're wearing your heart on your sleeve. You are who you are. But you meant to be that kind-hearted person because the universe placed you in that situation. But at the same time, there's some financial help that you also asking for the universe. And you need to be able to negotiate yourself in the right way and allow the universe to support the situation. Meaning whether the person agreed to it or whether they go through with it that's normally our main focus in the real life situation. But I'm saying what you don't see is don't let that be your main focus. Okay? Let your sound of your voice of negotiating that contract inside of it, let that be your main focus in that situation. Because and the universe won't already know. For example, let's take it for a reason why. Say that this person was already about to do something and it's not really your energy that was supporting them to do it, but you had a request for some help in a situation. And in this request for help in a situation, in order for that situation to go through, the situation that's before you where you feel like you comforting somebody else, there needs to be a negotiation. There must be some kind of negotiation, conversation, even if it's emotional support. And the beginning negotiation, conversation comes off as, do you kind of understand that I act like this as a platonic friend? You know, I'm a very compassionate person. I have my moments and I could seem very flirty or out there, but let's make sure, you know, whatever arouse in this situation, bring negotiation within the battlefield of the situation is going to be much needed. It's like a trader offer. It's like hitting a train station and picking up passengers and letting passengers off, getting in or out of a taxi cab. But it's just going to be a real live event and where something going to transpire. So those are going to be some of the ways that that Pluto and the moon going to be very inspiring. So then we get down to the 11th house. Aquarius is there with Venus and Saturn. And then we had a 12th house with you, Pisces. You in your own house at that time. But you have Chiron, which is in Aries. And you have the North Node, which is still in Aries at the beginning of the year. But you have Neptune, who kind of can manipulate. And that's probably where that negotiation going to really come from more than anything. But, you know, when you feel like something is going on, I would definitely go somewhere online if you don't to access the current planet positions and look for the connection that Pluto and Neptune might be having going on if you feel like this might be that situation. Because Neptune in your 12th house, the house of mystery, and they still trying to figure out the gases and everything that make up Neptune. Being that science is an energetic field and very common with technology right now, Neptune could blend in all of that in preparation for the North Node moving into your zodiac constellation. So it could bring up challenges from family members that maybe might be sick or passed away, and it was some unfinished business, or maybe you healing other people with it. But be very in tune with the energy and the environment. That's going to be your best guiding light. Okay? So then by the end of the month, on January the 31st of 2025, everything going to roll back. So Taurus is actually going to be in the 12th house then, and you're going to be in the 11th house of friendship. So, for example, like I say, that negotiation thing. Say that, let's say that you prayed to make it to stay in your apartment where you at. Things is rough. You might have just lost your job. You might have did an ancestry prayer, whatever way you did it. You did manifest, spell, whatever. And you're requesting this child to stay in your property. Now, the thing with you already starting off the new year in your own house, and then around the middle of the month, the North Node is going up in there, so the erraticism that's there, and with Taurus, I have. Now, Neptune going to still be with you, but you're moving to the 11th house of friendship. So the loyalty that, or the devotion, I ain't going to say it's the loyalty. The devotion, the devotional energy that you have put in will be a great time by the end of the year for you to believe in spells. Like, I'm not saying your spell won't work, but I'm just saying if you do certain things, negotiate certain ways throughout the month in proper situations, it's going to make it feel like your spell worked more than my reading giving you confirmation. So there's going to be, like, for Pisces, you're going to, with Taurus going up into that 12th house, you're going to have a good chance of rewards to come down depending on how you move. Whether it means somebody came and paid your rent or whatever it might be. But let me check it out. I'm going to pull some cards here and see real quick. Whew. For Pisces, general energy reading. Whoa! What would be the energy surrounding Pisces? The energy opportunities, especially when there's 12th house and Taurus and everything. I don't know the right way to really fully reward it, but I hope that you can feel me in it and understand what I'm trying to say here. What is these opportunities that's going to be here? What type source opportunities that's going to be here for Pisces by the end of January 2025? I have 3 cards. I like that one. The first card that came out is the Chariot, so that shit is what's up. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's like, it's all about that transition of the nodes. Like, I'm going to get it. Because the North Node is transitioning inside of you. So the information going to be successful and complete. So you have a good time to capitalize off of it. That's the 8 of Bats. That's the capitalization in it. Yep, the 3 of Wands. What's the shadow card here? The Hierophant. There you go. And Uranus is going to be in Taurus, and I said Taurus, the 12th house. You're going to be able to, I'm telling you, like there's a systematic flow of the transition of power with Aries and Pisces when it comes to the North Node. There's going to be like history, mystery. All of that is transformable. That's why the 8 of Swords here. It's all of it going to transfer. It's going to be successful, and it's getting into the groove of you. And you're going to be going retrograde at that time. So it's like part of the transfer of information around the end of the month is like going to slow down for a minute. It's like, for example, if you download a file and you realize that, oh man, I should have put this in a Pacific folder and just downloaded it there or something. It's like a process of that. It's like after part of a download is complete, it's not like you got to download and you're not going to do nothing with it. But it's not like it's the last download that you're going to get because of the type of stuff that you do. You get downloads all the time. And I'm talking about whether it's through an email. I'm not talking about in your mind or anything. I'm talking about like through emails or doctor notes, doctors putting calendar, Google Calendar memos up. You know, different stuff like that. That's what this going to be like. When that retrograde going to hit, depending on where you at, you can really benefit off of it. You can. But also, it just depends on how you do everything, how you negotiate. You're going to have to negotiate a whole lot during the beginning of the month. And those situations going to arise throughout the month before it gets to the end of the month. You just got to remember whether you kept your word. Because regardless, Aries going to keep his word to get a Pisces. And that's what that 8 of Swords is. And that's why this 3 of Wands is here. Okay? It's the whole completion of the process. The whole completion. So during that period of time, That's why the Chariot came out first, right? It let you know it's all going to be yours. It's all going to move forward. Now, in reality, I mean, some things could be scary to get there. But regardless of the point, it's going to get there. You just got a little mystery, a little twist and twine, Pisces. So this is what I feel like after doing your general astrology reading. I think Pisces is going to be experiencing a little bit of mysticism. And some of this mysticism is going to be more personal than it's going to be for the world to make the decision of. I think it will have you more paranoid when you're into the world. I think you will look for similar energetic paranoia to soothe your ease when it comes to certain situations. But I think it's definitely a dark side and twist. For people who's in these rough relationships, it's a door that can't open up. You might be walking around here and keep arguing, okay, I ain't cheated, I ain't do this, I ain't do this, get your attitude right. Some of that is useless because, yes, both of y'all are conscious into the now. But the subconscious mind is way more manipulating the emotional factors, the emotional intelligence within it. That they're going to go by the textbook clues. And see, your textbook clue potentially could be very age old, over 100 and some years. And sometimes just submitting for something that's 100 years could just make you jump in time. Especially when Aries transfer the power to Pisces. There's going to be a jump in time. There's going to be, is running. The first fish is going, what? Moving forward. While the other fish is eating up all the information to store and lock in. It's also going to start getting warm around that time. A little bit around the world. Some places going to get a little bit colder. Or remain in a cold flux. That's going to be very important too. On how people get a little bit frustrated and how they enjoy it. So consider doing your when Pisces, North Node and Pisces, I went into Pisces season, didn't I? Yeah, I made that statement off of Pisces season. Something going to happen during Pisces season. Oh well. Well, Pisces, I didn't drop it off. I hope you're going to enjoy your January monthly reading. But yeah, I mean, I think during your Pisces season going to be interesting. But that's also going to be based on how things got accomplished and where your stability at. Because of that transfer of power, right? All of us react different. And I do think the placements, how many placements of it going to determine a lot of it too. I mean, status, wealth, and quo. Of course, it has a human function, but I think the culture and location really has a planetary connection. I think that makes a difference planetary-wise. But there you go, Pisces. Make sure you negotiate well. It could pay off in the end.